What's going on, horror gang? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times, YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host, Marcus. Please be sure to shoot that like button, subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification icon to get all the latest content updates to the channel. In this video, I'm going to break down, review, and share my thoughts on the final trailer for Halloween Ends. But before we get into it, let's hit that intro. I shot him 6 times. Okay, everyone, as many of you already know, the final trailer for Halloween Ends released earlier this morning, and it confirms, in my opinion, not only will there be more than two Michael Myers in this film, it also confirms Laurie may not be over Michael Myers like she claimed to be. So without wasting any more time, let's get into what I think is going on in these shots. In this shot, we see the outside of the tunnel that Michael has been hiding out at the last 4 years. Then we get the shot where we see Corey Cunningham about to enter the tunnel. We see Corey has a gash on his face, which leads me to believe that he was possibly attacked prior to going into the tunnels. But more importantly, it seems like he hears something coming from the tunnel, as his facial expression shows, which would explain why he went to the tunnel to begin with. In these next shots, we see Michael attack Corey as we've seen in previous trailers. Then he proceeds to pull his knife out of his stash spot, and what seems he's about to kill Corey, and then the scene cuts. But what if it's not Corey he is about to kill? The reason I ask this question is because in this shot, we see Michael attacking someone who is not Corey Cunningham. So he could very well be the person that Michael is about to stab and kill when you see Michael pull his knife out of his stash. And while being killed, this person could be screaming, which could be the sound that Corey hears, which prompts him to go to the tunnels to investigate. However, I will say I don't believe this is actually Michael Myers who is attacking this other character who is also in the tunnels. I think this is the copycat Michael Myers, as if you look closely in the trailer, the mask looks a little bit too clean in my opinion. And he came at this guy with both hands, charging at him basically. Something the real Michael Myers didn't do with Corey Cunningham, as he attacked him with just his right hand. Why that matters is because David Gordon Green said that Michael was going to be in very bad shape in this movie, what leads me to believe that either something is wrong with Michael's left arm or he is severely weakened and not the Iron Man he once was and doesn't have the energy to attack full force in certain instances. In this shot, we see Laurie talking to Lindsay at the bar, and in the dialogue, she says to Lindsay, "I was certain he was watching me." Now, we did get this shot in the trailer of Michael watching Laurie, as we've seen in previous trailers as well. But what if Laurie is just seeing things that aren't there? This isn't impossible, as in Halloween H2O, we've seen her character have hallucinations of Michael. So it's not impossible to think that they implemented that into her character's psyche in this film as well. This shot with Laurie looking outside of her window at a bush with no Michael Myers in sight could also be a case of her seeing things. It is also a callback to the window scene in 1978 where Laurie sees Michael outside of her window before he disappears in the thin air. In this shot, we see Laurie and Allison having a heated conversation where Allison proceeds to tell Laurie, "You pretend like you've moved on, but you're actually just obsessed with death." Now, why that dialogue is important is because leading up to this film in interviews, etc., Jamie Lee Curtis and the actual plot synopsis for this movie itself implies that Laurie Strode has put Michael Myers behind her and that there is a new threat in her life. But given what Allison is saying here, new threat or not, Laurie is still very much worried about Michael Myers and hasn't moved on like was told. In this shot, we see Laurie, and she looks very depressed. And I'm going to say she's actually in a therapist's office talking to a therapist, obviously. And she proceeds to say, "But this time something feels different. He's more dangerous." Once again, this is a clear sign that Laurie is still obsessing over Michael Myers, but this time around she feels he's more dangerous than ever before. I highly doubt she'd speak of Corey Cunningham in that regard, and I've said it in previous videos. It makes no sense for Laurie not to still be worried about Michael Myers, given he was not captured after the events of 2018's Halloween and Halloween Kills, and is still at large. So I'm not surprised that she is still worried about Michael, but it is interesting that she is trying to fake it, but it's obvious that she is just living in denial at this point. In this shot, we see Michael walking past Willie the Kid's station window without him even noticing it. And in my opinion, this is a callback to Halloween H2O when you see Michael walk right past Ronnie, the security guard, as we know LL Cool J, without Ronnie even noticing it while he was looking inside the car that Michael Myers had stole. That this is Willie the Kid. You see in the background behind him in his studio says such with the artwork. But there is more important business to talk about in this shot of Willie's demise. This is not Michael Myers killing Willie the Kid, as the right hand, though bloody, looks fairly clean outside of that. Michael's right hand is very dirty, as you will see in a later shot. But the even bigger catch is that this confirms that we have not one, not two, but three Michael Myers in this film, as in this shot you see no ring on this right hand. Now let's take a look at this next shot that I have. As this Michael goes to twist the knob, maybe on some type of gas line or torch, what have you, you can not only see that the hand is clean, but it has a ring on it, as was seen in a brief shot in the first trailer. And we know that the ring is on the right hand, not only by judging this angle, but in the first trailer, the ring was seen on the right hand on whoever this Michael is, as it was coming down in mid-stab. The right hand being used to kill Willie had no ring on it. And we know for a fact Michael doesn't wear a ring. So given the evidence from the trailer, I think it's safe to say there are three Michael Myers in this movie. Two copycats and the real Michael. And for further clarification, this is Michael's right hand while choking Corey in the tunnels. And I think it's obvious to see his right hand is far dirtier than the previous right hands that I showcased in the prior photos. In this shot, we see someone, possibly Corey, going into the kitchen drawer to grab a knife. This is a callback shot to Halloween 1978, where we see Michael go in his kitchen drawer to grab the knife that he killed his sister Judith with. Now, I don't want to overreach here, but this clearly looks like a young man's hand, which is why I believe this could be Corey. But if you compare this hand to the previous ones that I showed in the previous photos, the others look more like older grown man hands. This looks like a hand of someone in their early 20s, someone who is much younger. Could there be four Michael Myers? Again, I'm not trying to overreach here, but I do see a difference and I find it interesting. So go back, compare the previous photos of the hands to this one, and you guys be the judge. In this shot, you see Dead Meat Lover walking to the pool area of the house where she encounters a dead body floating in the pool. But who is this person she has just found? Well, everyone, I'm going to say this is the notorious Dr. Mathis. I and many others were wondering why we haven't seen him in a trailer or heard much on his character leading into the film, but it seems we finally get some context on what's up with this character. We know he is supposed to play some type of significant role in this movie, even being rumored as a potential copycat Michael Myers. I myself even thought so, thought he could be coaching Corey Cunningham given his facial similarities to one Dr. Wynn of Halloween 6. But in my opinion, I do think this is Dr. Mathis, who is the dead guy floating in the pool. This character seems to have gray hair, much like Michael O'Leary, the actor who portrays Dr. Mathis, does. And the wardrobe he's wearing suggests a very professional look, one a doctor or a therapist would wear. Also keep in mind the backdrop of the house, the layout of the house. Looks like a very nice house. Looks like it's a house that someone with a lot of money lives in. Someone like a high-profile doctor or therapist, someone like that who would live in that type of house. Though it's not 100% confirmed, my bet is that this is Dr. Mathis, who is the dead man floating in the pool that Dead Meat Lover has found. Now, the context on the relationship between Dead Meat Lover and this person who's floating in the pool as obviously remains to be seen. If this is Dr. Mathis, I'm just going to go on a hunch and say that this is probably a girlfriend, a lover of his, as I don't believe she is a family relative of sorts or anything like that. In this shot, we see what seems to be Michael or one of the copycats with a blowtorch in hand about to cause some serious emotional damage. But what's important is you see the truck seen in the first trailer, but to a greater extent, as you see the lettering on it this time around. And it seems this truck is a repairman's truck, as if you look close, you see what reads WL Pair. Why this is important is because this could explain how the copycat got the overalls to copycat Michael Myers in the first place. In this shot, you see the young man with the Haddonfield Letterman's jacket holding a rifle. It seems this character is going to have a sizable role in this movie, as he has been featured in multiple trailers now and could also be seen trying to help the girl who gets run down and caught underneath the gated fence. As she points behind him, it's clear they are not alone, as copycat Michael is standing right there, maskless, with the mask in hand and overalls on. How I notice is copycat Michael is by the hands. They look entirely too clean, and the left hand seems to have all fingers intact. As we know, Michael doesn't have all of his fingers intact on his left hand, as Laurie blew 2 of them off in Halloween 2018, and as well as the mask looks clean as well. In this next shot, we see the infamous Sheriff Barker arrive on scene. Much to my surprise, I must say, how the hell this guy managed to keep his job after losing control of the situation with Michael Myers in Halloween 2018 and in Halloween Kills. Add the fact he didn't seem to take things seriously as a sheriff is beyond me. But hey, kudos to the guy for keeping his job and for persevering in the face of all that adversity and in the midst of all that chaos. I am definitely surprised to still see him serving as the sheriff in Haddonfield in this film. In this next shot, we see Laurie and Allison in the car. Laurie is a bloody mess from her most recent encounter with Michael Myers, or the copycat Michael Myers, and Allison just has the look of done with life on her face. This could be the ending of the movie, but I can't be too sure. For all we know, Allison could be taking Laurie to the hospital to treat her for her injuries, and we could see more scenes in dialogue after this scene. And last but certainly not least, we have the best shot of the trailer, as Laurie has the upper hand on Michael as she has him pinned down on her kitchen counter. And before she stabs him, she proceeds to take his mask off. But before it revealed much of anything, the camera cuts away. But if you slow it down and pause on the side, you can see some gray hair. Now, one would assume that this is James Drew Courtney underneath the mask, as he not only portrays Michael in Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and in this film, but in the previous 2 films, he sports a gray beard as Michael Myers. However, given the rumors surrounding original 1978 Michael Myers actor and legend Nick Castle potentially being a character in this film who could be revealed to be a copycat Michael Myers, it is not impossible to think that this is Nick Castle's character who is underneath the mask when Laurie takes it off. The reason I say this is because in set photos leading into the film, and just recent photos in general of Nick Castle, you see Castle rocking a low-cut gray beard himself. So if the rumors turn out to be true that Nick Castle plays a character in Halloween Ends that will be revealed to be one of the copycat Michael Myers, this could very well be him in this scene with Laurie, and could serve as an amazing callback to their final act scene in Halloween 1978. My final thoughts on this trailer is that they confirmed 2 things for me. Number 1, there will be at least 3 copycat Michael Myers in this film. Guys, the film don't lie to me, and I'd like to think, given the evidence that I showed earlier, especially with the difference in the hands don't lie. The hands are the key, in my opinion, guys. The hands and the mask, are the key. And number 2, Laurie hasn't put Michael Myers behind her, as was made to believe in the lead up to the film, and the interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis, and in the synopsis of the film. I will also say the trailer did disappoint me by giving away 3 death scenes, especially if there aren't many kills in this movie. I don't like the fact that they put half of them in the trailer, because now I know the fate of these characters before even watching the movie in its entirety. However, they did make up for it a little bit with the ending of the trailer, with Laurie taking off the mask but not revealing Michael's face. All in all, we're 16 days away from the final showdown between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, and I can't wait to see how all this madness plays out. But okay, everyone, that is it for this video. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts on the trailer, as well as let me know who do you think is underneath the mask when Laurie takes it off of Michael. Once again, this is I Shot Him 6 Times, YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host, Marcus. Please be sure to shoot that like button, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit that bell icon so you get all the latest content updates to the channel. Helps the channel out a lot, you guys. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon. Thank you guys for watching.